Good morning. Good morning, everyone in Australia. Good afternoon, everyone in Canada and in the States. So today, the subject of the uh, talk is Lojong. Um, mm, this time, I will end the Lojong teachings today for a while. There will be no Lojong teachings, but next Sunday at the same time, I will teach and lead meditation on Lamrim instead of Lojong. Many people have received Lamrim teachings before, which is wonderful, and some people are probably perhaps new. We did a Lamrim retreat in November. That was very successful. So many people attend. 115 people did the Lamrim retreat on Zoom. And I will go through the same text that was taught by first Panchen Lama, Losang Chöji Gyaltsen. The Lamrim text is called Delam, the path, smooth path, and comfortable path. So, so we do more meditation instead of me giving commentary on Lamrim. We go through step by step, meditate on Lamrim. So starting next Sunday, same time. And for now, we leave it the Lojong teaching for now, and I will start later on. So today, the topic of the Lojong is in Tibetan word is called Lojong Chikame, which means a method of Lojong preparation for death and dying, whenever that occurs, and we don't know that will occur. One thing we do know, that we all one day leave this body, we die, we don't live forever and ever, and nobody nobody leave in the past history, present time, and the future time. This is a part of life, human condition. And this year, last year, 2020, 2020, and there was lots of people died due to pandemic, and there are still people dying in this world, and some people nearly died. They got near-death experience. Some people survived from pandemic, from the coronavirus, and some people will get sick, and some people will die. So some of our friends died, not due to COVID. I haven't, well, actually a couple of people did die. And so this sort of is a reminder for all of us about death and dying. And well, not only the pandemic, but also there are so many more causes and conditions of death and dying. We don't even talk about right now. The media and news, everything is totally kind of taking over by the news of COVID-19 pandemic. But there are many other causes. People die from heart attack, stroke, and cancer, tumors, brain tumors, and so on and so forth. People are dying all the time. And so it is very important to do some meditation, have some awareness about death and dying. We all do know that we are going to die one day, but we always think in back of our head, not me now, and one day yes, but not right now. I won't, and just keep going this way, right? This is kind of our normal way, habitual thinking, and so then death can happen anytime. According to Lamrim teaching, uh, death is definite. And in Tibetan word is chiwa. Chiwa ngeba. That means death is definite because nobody lives, right? Namchi ngime, which means the time of death is uncertain, indefinite, because we don't know when it could happen. For instance, some people go to bed, never wake up, and some people go to work, never come home, and some people suddenly collapse and have a stroke or heart attack or something and don't know. And it can happen to anyone or for anyone, and it happens all the time. And mm, so there is no kind of a order, fixed order. And usually we think older people die first, and then middle age, and then young people die. But this is not always the case. These days, lots of young people die, lots of children die. Young people die due to drug-induced illness problems and accidents, things like that. And children die from infant mortalities, and children are born with the disease and certain problems and die. So there is no kind of certainty who dies first, who dies later. And so the time of death is indefinite. And Tibetan word is namching ime. So chivechu, chivechu chumado kangi mivemba, Tibetan word, which means at the time of death, the Dharma practice is most beneficial one. Spiritual realization is the most beneficial one, because everything else, what we have in this life, in this world, cannot save us from dying, cannot rescue us from dying, cannot extend our life span, except when you do long life practice. And yes, you can extend your life certain limit, certain amount. That again depends on one's own previous karma and cause and conditions. And so material aids, power and jobs, and all these things cannot prevent us from dying, or cannot help, really doesn't do much. It actually, it becomes a lot of times problems and problems for a dying person, having too many things around, and then you are unable to die peacefully and happily and dignifying way. So there's problems like struggling, and so forth. So Dharma practice is the most valuable thing. Meditation is a valuable thing, and spiritual help is the most valuable. Spiritual help from the spiritual friend is most valuable. The support from one's own spiritual friend, such as a teacher, guru, or spiritual mentor, spiritual friend, is most valuable thing. And prayers, supplications, method of transferring consciousness to Buddha land, and Pawa practice, and so forth are the most beneficial one. Because when we die, what happens? Our consciousness, our body are separating, and when your mind no longer able to remain in your body and in your at your heart, at the indestructible drop, and supported by prana and karma. So these things are no longer there. And when the karma is exhausted, and when the prana is exhausting, and then consciousness unable to remain in the body, and this is the time we're going to experience departure from the body, and consciousness leaves the body. So that the moment the consciousness is left the body, that is called death. And until then, you're alive, even though you stop breathing. And so this is why, according to Tibetan tradition, we keep the body for 3 days after the body, after you are unable to breathe. Modern doctors might say that this person is now deceased because he or she cannot breathe. And but according to Dharma tradition, we keep the body for 3 days, let the body have a rest, not to rush, and also go through the process of dying, inner process, going through dissolution, dissolving the earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, prana element, and then consciousness element. Consciousness go through different stages, go up and up, and then the final state is a clear light of the death, and before journey to Bardo. So go through this process. In order to go through this process, it requires some time. This is why we leave the body without disturbing for 3 days. And this is also very helpful, because while the body is kept for 3 days, then you can invite teachers, Dharma friends, and yogis and yoginis, meditators, could sit and do Poa practice, do self-initiations of the Yidam deity, do recite sutras, recite mantras, and this will be very helpful for the person who is dying. This is very beneficial. So we need time to do this. We need time go through this process of death and dying, and the dying person need to go through this process, and the loved ones, the remaining people need a process, because when the person is dying or dies, then you are first experience shock, and then that could take some time, and then go through grief, or some people go through shock and grief more or less same time. Some people shock first, then grieve. Everything takes time. So this is why we keep 3 days, even though 3 days may not enough for go through grieving. Some people go through grieving for months and even years, and it depends on the person. And so some people don't grieve much because the person is spiritual person, he or she, dying person, and have a good realizations, Dharma realization. So therefore we don't have to really worry about worrying this person. And he or she can manage and for the journey, right? And so this is why it's important to do these kinds of preparations. So now, right now, I want to use this. I will explain this text here. I have this text called Lojong Jatsa in Tibetan tradition. There are 100 Lojong texts here, short ones. Then the Lojong Jatsa, Lojong Jatsa. Okay, to la pecha ting chen simba chimbo kuncho jan senji choding zebe lojung jaza tang karcha dungsel dawa je shu so simba chimbo great bodhisattva, his name is Kunchok Jelsen. He put these lojong texts together, short texts together, very, very useful texts. So one of the lojong texts here is says lojong chikame menga. So technique or method how to prepare and for the person who is dying or yourself when you are dying, then you should do certain practice, but that has been done before. I mean, before, when I say before, it means now, when one is not sick, when one's mind is clear, body, mind, everything's intact, very in a good shape, good position, then you practice, right? Training. And once your body is very ill, mind is very dull, and it's hard to do. And therefore, if you prepare now, practice now. So if you practice now, then even at the time of death, because you already practice and you know the technique, then it is very much possible that you can do the practice. Okay, so I will now go through the text here. Chewa parudu chimba tuki goni chiguba yin chewe dusu yoji sum cha sum gula cha jik lama da kuncho lambo cha jik so che cha jik jie gang la soba jiri su cheba sum te ne jimba yin. So te jimba yin. So it suggests here chowa paro du chimbatu ki gone chigubai. So when you die, or before you die, and actually now, it is do the practice of six perfections for preparation for dying, well, also for living as well. You see, there's a Tibetan book called Tibetan Book of Dying and Living by late Zasep Rinpoche, very popular book, very famous book. And also there is a book, famous book called Tibetan Book of Dead. That is old book. But so late Zasep Rinpoche's book, Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, is a very popular book. And similarly, there are other books. We have many books on death and dying. And also Lamrim, Lama Tsongkhapa is Lamrim Chemo, Lama Tsongkhapa is Lamrim, medium Lamrim, and Chabje Phong, the changing books, Lamrim Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand has a section on impermanence and death and dying. And so practice six paramitas. So the very first paramita, in other words, perfection is giving. Second paramita is morality. Third paramita is patience. Fourth paramita is perseverance. And fifth paramita is concentration. And sixth paramita is wisdom or shunyata. So here, first one, practice generosity. Chivitus yoji sumcha Sumdu Gula, Chaji Lama da Kunjolambo, Chaji Soso Che, Chaji Jekangla Soba, Kirus Jeba, Yinsong. So, so before you experience dying or death, one must, I guess one should write will, right? You say will, and that will be very helpful for your family members, friends. So it's all there. You write down. They can then follow the will, practice will. It will be very helpful. And so in your will, you write your, I think the most important thing is how would you like to pass away? And you see, most of the time, the common people, when they write a will, it's about their states, right? Material things, house, money, this and that, right? But here, as a yogi or yogini, generally yogis and yoginis don't have much anyways. And if you have something, doesn't matter who gets what, who cares, right? It's just only material things. But most important thing is how you want to pass away, and what kind of spiritual practice one should do, meditation or sadhana practice or prayers, and what you want to do, who you like to conduct the prayers and pujas and power practice and so forth. You should put that in will. That's very important. That's more important than anything else. And then ideally, where would you like to pass away? At home or in somewhere in a sort of remote, like a temple or ashram, or maybe not possible temple, maybe ashram or some retreat place, or whatever, wherever you could write down. But home, it will be better. We have saying home birth is a good one, home death is a good one, home cooking is a good one. And so you cook at home, then you can eat what you want to eat, what you like, and you can have a good food and organic food and so forth. You know exactly what you are eating, right? Home birth is very beautiful. I have had an experience myself many years ago. One of my friend couple, they had a baby. Baby was born at their home. I never seen, and I never been to the birth. According to Tibetan custom, men should not go at the birth. Only the mothers, the grandmothers, and so on. The woman sit together, deliver the baby. And the husband, the father, has to sit outside. And then as soon as the baby come out, then you go in. And so I was a lama, I have no experience and never imagined going there. But because I'm in Canada, so this couple invited me. They want me to see the birth of their child. And so I said, why not? I like to be there and also experience. And so I went there, sat there. We were all chanting, singing medicine Buddha mantra, and the baby come out. Beautiful boy come out, and he was a beautiful boy. And his name is Champa. Tibetan name Champa means love. And he's still Champa. He lives on the Vancouver Island. And so that was a beautiful birth, home birth. And the mother didn't have pain. And she, after half hour, maybe 45 minutes, she got up and she went to the bathroom and to have shower and had some herbal tea walking around. She already had 2 children before that. Strong woman, very strong lady. So it was a wonderful experience. And home birth, I think, is very good. Likewise, home death. So I of course, I seen home death. I did a power practice myself many times. And the first one I did when I was only 12 years old. That was a little challenging for me. I'm myself a boy, trying to do for someone who's dying here. So, um, so in your will, it's important to write down what you want to do, what kind of practice you want to do, and first on the list, and then the last part. Then how do you want to disperse your belongings, whatever you have, states or money, whatever. And I like to tell you a little story here. My grandfather, after being in India and Nepal, he went back to Tibet, 1980, I think 85. And then I went back, saw him. No, he went back 83. I saw him 85. Then I saw him again in 90. And so that time he was ready to leave. And he told me he's not going to be around very long. So that was a difficult time for me. And I was raised by my grandfather. So he was already old, very old. He was 82. And he said he's leaving. And he doesn't have much material things. He got few spiritual things, Dharma items. He had a beautiful statue of Lama Tsongkhapa, Lamrim Chenmo text, some other Dharma items, quite a bit. So he said he would like to give the statue, Lamrim Chenmo text, and all these Dharma items to one small monastery. This monastery is his private monastery. Is called Jezang Gompa. And Jezang Gompa is very small, and there are few old monks and some young boy monks, about 20 of them. So there's a big gap between old and young, and they're poor, and they didn't have many Dharma stuff, like in terms of statues. So my grandfather said it would be most appropriate to give to them, offer to them. It would be good for them, also good for him. So he did that, and that was wonderful. So I always learn a lot of things from my grandfather. So then you need to give. And according text here, I will read now. So, chivitis yoje sum chasunde gula chik lamada kunjo lambo. So you divided material things, what you have divided in 3 ways. First, one portion you offer to your guru and the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, like monastery, so forth. Chachik so soje, one portion you again offer things like on the altar, for example, butter lamps, oil lamps, candles, incense, food, also purchase fruits and cakes, tormas, tea, milk, yogurt, and so on and so forth. Offering, salt offering. And one should have a light on the altar for the next 49 days. The light lamp or the light symbolizes enlightenment. And then third portion is give away for charities and buy food and medicine and for sick people or prevent sickness and food and medicine and so forth. E jimbayin chutumla susutarbi tungwa shadumche. So munju semji danjuche te chutumi. So this is giving first paramita, right? As I said, when you die, you do the 6 paramitas. This is giving. The second thing is morality. So morality is to keep pure morality. Let's say you have vows. You took vows. You took bodhisattva vow, tantric vows, and then you should renew your vows and repair your vows. And at the moment you are dying, renew the vows, repair the vows. So according to Tibetan monastery tradition, when someone's dying, then you do take a refuge vow. Again, take bodhisattva vow, take tantric vow, and do self-initiation. If you are a practitioner of Yamantaka, then do Yamantaka self-initiation. Or if you're a practitioner of Vajrayogini, do Vajrayogini self-initiation. Likewise, other self-initiations. So you may not be able to do yourself at that moment. You may not be equipped to do that. You may not have the strength, physical strength. And what you do is you invite your teacher or your friend who comes sit next to you and do make elaborate offering, do the self-initiation. Or you never late, even after you're unconscious, you're no longer consciousness, you can still invite your teacher. And as I mentioned this story before, after my grandfather passed away on the third day, his own guru, this Rinpoche came with the two attendant monks, and they set up beautiful altar of Yamantaka, mandala, and so forth. They did the self-initiation for him. So do the self-initiation. And then that time, it is good also to do Powa practice. So I should say a few words about Powa practice. Powa is Tibetan word. Powa means transferring the consciousness to Buddha land, transferring the consciousness to Pure Land. So if you have been practicing Powa as a training for many months, many years, then it is possible at the time of one's own dying, one can do Powa for oneself. And if you can do Powa for yourself, then it will be the best thing. And you don't need a lot of elaborate chantings, and you can just do basic visualization of the Powa, do Powa by yourself, self Powa, right? And even if you are not quite sure, you're able to do the Powa for yourself, and then you could ask your friend or spiritual mentor or your guru, ask to come sit next to you, then do Powa practice. You could do Amitabha Buddha Powa practice. You could do Lama Tsongkhapa Powa practice. You could do Vajrayogini Powa practice. You could do Hiruka Powa practice. You could do Chenrezig Powa practice, Avalokiteshvara Powa practice. The very common one is Amitabha Buddha Powa practice. And we have copies of Amitabha Buddha Powa practice in English available. We also have a Powa practice of Vajrayogini and Kita Manitara and so forth. So the Tibetan word Powa means transferring the consciousness. So this is very important practice. And so there's various way it is beneficial one. And so when you do the Powa for yourself or your friends do the Powa, it is an amazing practice because it helps to overcome fear of dying, right? And many people have fear of dying, and not only fear of dying, but biggest fear is what happens after death. Like some people don't have fear of dying, but there is a fear of what happens after death. You know, and I guess depends on the person, right? She believes reincarnation, then there could be hope and fear both, right? Hope of going to Pure Land, fear of going, not getting to Pure Land, maybe lost in the somewhere in one of the realms, um, and wandering around, and that's a big fear. And some people also have lots of issues in their mind, negative karmas and guilt, carrying a lot of baggages, so that those negative karmas and self shame, guilt can be haunting at that time, and becoming block and hindrance for one's own journey through the bardo or to the Pure Land or next reincarnation, right? So, power practice is very helpful to be able to go through the death process without fear and be able to accept death and dying and without fear, without struggle, right? It is very comforting, and it is like the road map. You have the map in your head. You know where you're going now, and you won't get lost it, and you're not intercepted by your negative karma or some strong delusion. It's not going to be diverted somewhere and intercepting somewhere. You have a strong mind, a clear mind. This is very comforting power practice. Also, power practice is very comforting for the family and friends of the dying person, because the dying person is mm, his mind is in a state of calm and peace, and then everybody else feels calm and peaceful. At the very right this moment, one of my friends is nearly now passing away. We have been we done power practice for him. We are doing lots of practice, supporting him, and he knows. And the moment he passed away, we will do big puja. We will do offerings. We will do uh, prayers and chanting. So it's a healing and overcoming shock, overcoming grief for the family, and it is very beneficial. Sutumla soso trabi tongwa shadamche honju semje danjuche te churimi zoba paran kan yona zoso che dana me na kacha nacha chiksam nuni chok oja ni nditawi chik yobe zoba nzo kuyo zoba lendo matuna rangi semna medewa meba che. Now, generosity, right? First parameter. Second parameter is morality. Third parameter is patience. So, according to this Lojong text here, suggests that we should do practice patience. Now, what does this mean is, and at the moment of dying or before dying, you want to have a closure of this life, good closure, and not bad closure or no closure at all. And you want some kind of closure and ending nicely, nice ending, nice closure. So what the Lojong text is suggesting, if you have some issue in your life with somebody, most likely one of your family members, friends, you have issues, right? That issues that are not resolved, unfortunate situation, right? Whatever the issue is, or with your ex partner, or ex husband, ex wife, or children, whatever, some issue, right? So this is a time you could ask, have some closure and forgiveness. You could, if you feel like you need from them their side forgiveness, you ask forgiveness. Or um, uh, if you feel that you must forgive for them and they done something to hurt you, then you must forgive. Don't hold this garage, hold this anger, and then you die with anger and holding garage. That's very unfortunate thing, right? Just let it go because I'm going now. And what's the point? All that samsara, impermanent. And now it's all done. Everything's done now. Goodbye, samsara. Goodbye, all the drama of life. So I ask you forgiveness, or you give me forgiveness. We all forgive each other. This is the patience. This is a dignified way to leave this world, very positive way. And then in this commentary said, you see, you ask forgiveness. If they don't forgive you, then there's not much you can do. But at least from your side, did what you can do. You did what you can do, right? Or you forgive them, then it's fine, right? So this is a patience. This is a patience because it requires patience. You have this baggage and anger and frustration garage carrying all through your life. Now suddenly saying, "Poof, and goodbye. I'm giving up, or I'm forgiving you. As give me forgiveness." And it's not easy to do this, especially if you're carrying this thing whole life. And so you need patience, right? And this is spiritual way. Worldly people, they are unable to do that. Some people prefer to die with anger, die with resentment, and certain people have certain attitudes, like what we call the warrior attitudes, so-called warrior attitude. I'm a warrior. I will never forgive my enemy. I die now and you die or whatever. This sort of thing carry on, right? And they think it's right. Some use, but I don't think that's a good thing to do. Anyway, so and that's patience. Now perseverance. Zondu tenam cheba tamji gado da cheba che. Zondu tenam cheba gado da cheba. So perseverance is you do all that, practice generosity and ethics, morality and patience, all that with joy. We do joy. Someday the hirami di kona ye tene kunju ji jengar chobada. So the fifth parameter, meditation or concentration, and the wisdom is already there. When you go through the practice of first, generous patience, generosity, morality, patience, and perseverance, concentration comes with it. And you are concentrating on those topics, right? Wisdom comes with that because you need wisdom in order to practice generosity. You need wisdom in order to practice morality and ethics. You need wisdom in order to practice patience and perseverance. Like each six parameter has six parameters. For example, generosity itself has generosity of morality, generosity of patience, generosity of perseverance, generosity of meditation, generosity of wisdom. Each parameter has 36 altogether. And it's already involved here. Okay, so now actual practice here. So then kuncho jengara choba tuna jebachi yela dumba jebachi dagi jula tiwajimbo sojung toba chinji malaba lojong toba chinji malaba jiba chinji la lojong jeba ne jera mejiba. Okay, so so then this is the actual practice. The actual practice is you make offerings, set up beautiful altar, and offer bottle lamp, offer some fruits and cakes and flowers, and then offer those water balls and Argyam Padim Pushpi Divi Alok again in every Shabda, all these 7 offerings, 8 offerings, 2 sets of offerings minimum. Okay, make all these offerings. And and then you generate good motivation, generate good thought, good intention, and you say, I am now preparing my journey and death and dying, and I'm making beautiful offerings, and I pray to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, gurus, Yidam deities, Dakas, Dakinis, Dharmapalas, and I pray to them so that I could have a meaningful death and dying, a successful death and dying, and to do proper meditation, proper visualization, to do a proper power practice, and therefore I seek your blessings. I seek blessings from the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and Gurus, and so that I will be able to do the preparation for death and dying. Tene kuncho chi jengar yige bam marsil chik kom ti wod te wod shi peme dongbo chik tu choba kom peme sindru rumbuchi ter rumbuchi te tarsib chi jembala lama yidam je la ta de ta medeba gom ngar chi choba de na lu lang lambo yala dumba cha ngar yin so ta tene November. Okay, so now this is the actual visualization here. So you then now this is the preparation. So now this is the visualization actually. Now you do the visualization. Sit comfortably on meditation cushion, ideally in a peaceful environment, and sit meditation with the meditation posture. Cross your legs with the Vajrasana, and keep your spine straight, and your hands are on your lap with the mudra of meditative echo pose. And and then you generate bodhicitta motivation. And then visualize the it says visualize red palm syllable. So this is it looks like Vajrayogini practice in a way. Palm syllable, palm B-A-M, palm syllable. In the Tibetan letter is palm, looks like a square one, and then a circle on top. The Tibetan character ba is like almost square, and at the bottom a little bit narrower going down. On the top there's a circle. That's a palm syllable. So you visualize red palm syllable in front of you in the sky. But Yige Bam Marcel Chigum. Oh, it says actually red, slightly yellowish, sort of more or less deep orange letter. Bam. Te udushe peme dongo kidu churba gum. Then that bam syllable transform into a beautiful lotus, a red lotus flower, lotus cushion. Peme Sindhu Rinpoche Tarzabji Jambala Lama Yidam Ta Midibagom. So on that lotus cushion, and there is also moon cushion, lotus cushion, and moon cushion, and moon cushion, and then on top of that moon cushion, you visualize your Lama da Yidam Jela, Ta Midibagom. So then you visualize your Yidam. Visualize your Yidam deity. So you could visualize Vajra Yogini if you prefer, or you could visualize Amitabha Buddha, or you could visualize Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara, whichever. You visualize the Yidam deity, and imagine this Yidam deity, the Buddha and Guru are one. So that Tibet, some of you may not know this word Yidam. Yidam is Tibetan word. Yidam means heart, bond, deity. Okay, Buddha, one of the deities, Buddhas. Okay, like as I said, Amitabha or Vajrayogini or Avalokiteshvara. We use the word Yidam, deity in Tibet. Yi is heart or mind. Dam is you make a tamsik commitment. You make commitment with the deity, and we call heart bond deity. Tamsik Yidam. Okay, this is your personal deity. You made a special connection with the deity, or you have a connection, special connection with this deity. Visualize, for example, let's say Amitabha Buddha. You visualize Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha means infinite light. Is no number, no limit. Mitaba is infinite light, Buddha of infinite light. Amitabha is one of the 5 Dhyana Buddhas. In Tibetan, word for Amitabha is Oba Me. Word for Me. Word is light. The Pa Me means infinite, no numbers. Buddha of infinite light. Oba Me. Sangye Oba Me. Sangye Oba Me. Gyawaringa. Inani Chigrawa. So one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. Akshobhya, Ratna Sambhava, Vairocana, Amoghasiddhi, and Amitabha. Akshobhya is blue, Ratna Sambhava is yellow, Vairocana is white, and Amoghasiddhi is green, Amitabha is red. 5 Dhyani Buddhas. So you visualize beautiful Amitabha Buddha sitting on the lotus in the moon cushion. He's got beautiful red color, like a coral color, and he is wearing a beautiful robe of a monk, orange, saffron, and burgundy robe. His right hand is in the mudra of giving blessings, and in his hand he's holding a herbal plant called arura plant, with leaves and flowers, and in his right hand, and in his left hand he's holding this beautiful bowl and with the white nectar inside. So you could visualize Amitabha here in front of you. So then I'll try to visualize Amitabha Buddha clearly. So when you visualize Amitabha Buddha, you imagine his entire body is nature of light and energy, not like a human body, solid and with all the human characters, human body substances like bones and flesh and organs inside and so forth. None of these things are there. All nature of light and energy. Okay, and visualize Amitabha Buddha in front of you. So the offering that you already set up on the altar before, light and food, incense and flowers, musical instrument, so on, so on, so on, so on. You're now offering to this Buddha, Amitabha. So, visualize Amitabha Buddha in front of you. So now, this time we're not doing power practice right now, but if I'm not talking about power practice right now. Right now, I'm talking about prayer to Amitabha Buddha. Okay, praying to Amitabha Buddha. So you visualize Amitabha Buddha in front of you, then you chant the mantra of Amitabha, Om Amitabha Ri, Om Amitabha Ri, Om Amitabha Ri. Om Amitabha, 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 Amitabha. In Sanskrit is Om Amitabha, Amitabha. Generally in Tibetan society, in Tibet, we say Om Amidevari, Amidevari. So it's the same thing. Om Amitabhari or Amidevari, same thing. Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari, Om Amidevari. You can say it that way, or you say Sanskrit way. Om Amitabhari, 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 Om Amitabhari. Okay, I would like to lead short meditation on visualizing Amitabha Buddha in front of us. So you sit comfortably on your meditation cushion and keep your back straight. Then imagine in front of you there's a beautiful sky here, blue sky. And then in the middle of this blue sky, all of a sudden, a red palm syllable appeared. The palm syllable is not very big, not very small. And the red palm syllable, and then light shining from this palm syllable. And after visualize Amitabha Buddha, then imagine light emanating, beautiful light coming from Amitabha Buddha's heart, white light, white light shining. And this beautiful divine light enter through your crown and into your heart, and you receive blessings of Buddha Amitabha, and you receive protection from Buddha Amitabha. This light is signal, and this light is a blessing. And this light that coming from Amitabha Buddha to you is a signal or it kind of like invitation or guiding light, like a torch, and so that you can see your path. When we are torch in our hands or flashlight in our hands, we know where we're going. Nighttime, like that, this light come down from Amitabha to my heart. See, this beautiful divine light stay in my heart, so that at the time of my death, I will see this light in my mind. I will see Amitabha in my mind. Amitabha means infinite light. It will shine in my mind. I see the light. And I know where I'm going. I don't need to have fear of unknown, going to unknown place and or lost. So this light is now in my heart. I received blessings of Amitabha Buddha. We will chant the mantra of Amitabha. Om Amitabha Re, 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 Amitabha Re, Amitabha Re, Amitabha Re, Dabari, Amitabha Re, Amitabha Re, Amitabha Amitabhari, 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 Amitabhari. This is how you sing in Sanskrit. Tibetan word is Tibetan pronunciation is Amidevari, 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 Om Amidevari, 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 Amidevari. Thank you. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about Lojong and this particular Lojong of death and dying and Pawa practice and so forth, if you do have questions, you are most welcome. So this morning when I was leading meditation on Satipatthana, mindfulness, Holly asked me a question about what is the difference between feelings, sensations, and emotions. So I did say or give answer or give a feedback or answer whatever about emotions, about feelings, sensation. I didn't give any. I didn't say anything. I said I'm not going to say anything about sensation. So I think that time I had a different idea of what sensation is. I thought you were talking about like sensational, something exciting, some kind of worldly thing. But then I thought maybe you are asking about sensation, like you get certain sensations, like when you have pain in the body or when you have some experience from meditation, some sensations. For example, when you do anapanasati or mindfulness breathing, vipassana meditation, they talk about how is sensation, what is the sensation, okay? So if you're talking about that kind of sensation, then my personal view, that kind of sensation is, I think, same, more or less same as a feelings. how you feel during mindfulness meditation or breathing meditation or during certain practice. Let's say power. We didn't do power right now, but we did pray to Amitabha Buddha and receiving blessings. So there is certain kind of feelings, right? There is certain kind of maybe sensations. You feel something in your mind. So I think my interpretation is feeling and sensation are more or less same thing. Okay, is Holly here? I assume Holly is here. Okay, if you're listening, that's my feedback to you.
So Amanda has a question.
Yeah.
If you are helping a non-Dharma person through death, someone without spiritual belief, could you please advise on how to help them find peace?
Without spiritual belief.
Yeah.
Without spiritual beliefs, I think you could you meditate on loving kindness while you're sitting in front of or with that person, or you can meditate on loving kindness for that person, and when you are not with that person, he or she doesn't have to know what you're doing, and it's not important. And you do your best. You do meditate on loving kindness. Also, you could do Tonglen practice, taking the suffering of that person or giving the person love, and without knowing by that person what you are doing here. And I don't think there is a problem here because you're not trying to convert this person into Buddhism or trying to influence in any way. You are only sending love and compassion and giving your support.
Thank you. So R.O. Kennedy asks, Dear Rinpoche, you spoke of exhausting prana and karma at the end of life. I understand exhausting prana, but not so clear on exhausting karma. Do we not carry that onto the next life?
Yes. Well, yes and no. Well, let me put it this way. When I say exhausting karma, is one particular karma exhausted. What I mean is the karma of this life, this particular life, is now finished. This is why you're not unable to stay here. This is why you're going, right? Your life, you move on. Your consciousness no longer unable to remain with this body. Otherwise, you could live 90 years or 100 years, or some people live 110, 115, 120. And people do live long time. Some people die in 25 years old, 30 years old, right? So whatever the karma you have at this moment when you're dying, this particular karma of this life is exhausted. Then your prana is exhausted. I didn't mean all karma is exhausted. Of course not. You have other karmas. You have karma of next life, many other karmas, very complicated karmas. So many karmas. They're not nearly, not even closer, exhausting. And it's a tip of iceberg.
Thank you. Holly Stalking says, thank you. Yes, that is what I meant. So
That's good. That's good. We're meeting now. We're communicating.
Colin says, I would like to donate my tankas and 2 statues of Guru Rinpoche and Chen Rezig that were blessed by Tai Si Tupa? And could he donate these to Tashi Choling?
At the time of his death?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. You can, Colin. Don't go away. Stick around. Stick around. You're too young to go. And come down once in a while. Visit us after COVID. Come down from Kamloops. Kamloops. Beautiful Kamloops. Yes.
Amanda's wondering if the book you were just reading from is translated into English or not.
Not that I know. Let me see.
And can you say anything about the author?
I don't know this person. I don't know this person. It sounds like he's a very highly realized teacher. Let me see this Tibet text where it was printed. Oh, I says this book was it's all in Tibetan, published, printed in Dharamsala at the Tibetan press, printing press of the Tibetan Ministry of Culture. Ministry of Culture, yeah, in Dharamsala. And let's see, way back in 1973. That's a long time ago. And I don't know this Lama, this teacher, Simba Chimpa Kunju Jansi. I think one of the Giluk masters. I'm not sure.
Sharon asks, Rinpoche, could you please speak about the moment of death when life leaves the body? It seems to me that there is a passing of energy.
Passing of energy? So, but the question is, what happens? Is that the question?
The question is, could you speak about the moment of death when life leaves the body?
Mm-hmm. Life leaves the body. Actually, a life ends here. Life doesn't leave. Because when you die, when you're dead, means life ended. There's nothing to pass, move on. Life is gone. Life is ended. There's nothing to pass or leave. I mean, life is ended. So no longer life. That's what the definition of dead, right? And so what is leaving is consciousness is leaving. And the energy and karma that is with the consciousness is now leaving. The body is left here. Like the little chick comes out and they leave the egg behind. Okay? Or a little gecko comes out, baby gecko comes out, nose sticking out, jumps out from the eggshell. The eggshell left here. Now you're gone. Like that, when we die, this body is like the eggshell. Your consciousness is like the little bird that walks away, or a little gecko jumps around. So you're going now into the Bardo and all Buddha land. So this is the thing that goes on. So the moment you leave this body from your heart, then it depends on where you go. It depends on your karma. Depends on your power of your virtues, power of your merit, wherever you are going. Yeah, life is not going. Life ended here.
Flame is out. So Pam and Paul ask, the syllable Pam is for generation of all deities, or is it in the sadhana?
Silver bum.
She said Pam, P-A-M.
Pam.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Pam is P-A-M. Pam, that's silver for lotus flower. See, lotus flower is called Padma in Sanskrit, Padma. And so seed silver for the lotus flowers, Pam or Pam, depends how you pronounce. Pam, okay? And they'll become lotus. And then on top of the lotus cushion, you visualize Ah transform into moon cushion. And then on top of that, whichever deity you are visualizing, for example, Avalokiteshvara, you visualize seed symbol, free. Okay, Amitabha Buddha is also free. Avalokiteshvara, white tree, Amitabha is red tree. For example, if you're visualizing Tara, then you visualize Tam, green Tamsala on top of that. So the Pam is seed symbol for lotus. Again, Pam is different. Before I said Pam, B-A-M, Pam. This is P-A-M, Pam.
I'm wondering if they got confused with Pam and Bam.
Yeah, that's possible. And if you're talking about the Pam that I mentioned before, that is not seed symbol for all Buddhists. That is the usually seed symbol for Vajra Yogini, Pam.
Thank you.
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So next Sunday again, once more again, next Sunday I will be here teaching, but no longer Lojong. So I will teach Lamrim. Lamrim means gradual path to enlightenment. Wonderful teaching, and given by the first Panchen Lama Losang Chit Gyaltsen, who was the guru of the fifth Dalai Lama way back in the 16th centuries. Yeah, it's a wonderful text. So we go through Lamrim, do meditation on Lamrim next Sunday afternoon. And next Sunday morning, we have one more meditation on teaching on Satipatthana. Thank you.